I'm very excited to be joined with wrestling superfan and backstage Swiss Army knife, Dyanna Corona. Dyanna, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm excited to hear about kind of your wrestling fandom journey. Tell me what it was like having your first live wrestling experience.
Let's see, since I'm one of those ones who've had it in the US and then in Canada, not a lot of people get that. And so I feel pretty unique and special that, so my first live wrestling experience, I was probably 14, 15 years old. My parents had saved up for my birthday, and it was Monday Night Raw in the Tacoma Dome, which Raw never comes to the Tacoma Dome. And so we got to be there, and it was when Shawn Michaels dropped the ball. And so we were that Monday Night Raw, and I just remember that whole night. And then we come out and we actually see the guy selling merchandise, and so that was kind of my first peek behind the curtain, okay, that is strange, that guy should not, wait a second. And so that was a lot of fun. That kind of burned into my brain that maybe wrestling isn't as real as they make it seem on TV. But then again, I'm still such a huge fan of it. And then my first actual Canadian experience, because I hadn't gone to any indie shows ever. And so a friend of mine had been working on me since 2021 to go to a local show where I live. And I'm no, too busy. And then finally had an opportunity to be okay, let me try this out. So 3 years later,
Yeah.
She broke me down. It took 3 years. And I went to my first local show for Reactivate Pro Wrestling. And I was hooked, absolutely hooked. I was okay, why did I wait so long? Just why? Timing. Just timing. My schedule had opened up. I was able to do what I wanted. And I just started from there. I went to Relentless, which is in Spokane. Then I went to Defy, Prestige. It just kind of branched out from where I lived all the way to this network. Then Canada came. I had never gone to Canada ever. And so for a birthday present to myself, my birthday's in October, I was I'm going to Canada. Got a ferry ticket out of Port Angeles into Victoria, went to 365. And it was their one of the last shows before they were no longer running shows at the White Eagle. And it was crazy. The crowd, oh my God, the children, the island children, I call them the feral island children. Absolutely love them, but they're crazy. And that's the first real crowd experience that I had that wasn't WWE. This was real. These people were they live this. And I was you know what? Hey, kind of like those kids over there. Hi. Got to meet everybody who works at 365. Then I went back that November to the last show, and it was absolutely insane, but it was amazing. And then I went to my first Boom show, New Year's Eve. So that was my first time actually being in Vancouver and at a show where I had no idea what I was walking into. Somebody had tried to explain to me, time traveling Abraham Lincoln and Travis Williams is his son. And I'm okay, I'm all for history, but what is this? And so I came and I was just you know what? These are my people. These are absolutely my people. And just kind of started getting to know other people here and the wrestlers and everybody who does merch and all that stuff. And I was I come up here, I have a retail background, I have restaurant background, I own my own business, I just have all this experience, use me, plug me in somewhere. And that's where a lot of the stuff where I'll help at the merch table, I'll help sell snacks, I'll timekeep. I'm a timekeeper at Nation Extreme Wrestling now. That's how I ended up getting into that. I've timekeeped for Defy. I've done it for Game Changer Wrestling. And so I'm just, yeah. anywhere and everywhere.
We talked about that Swiss Army knife at the very beginning, so you do it all. We'll get a little bit more into that. You talked about it a little bit there yourself. You're from the Tri-Cities area in the United States.
Yes.
What about the BC wrestling scene makes it so special?
Oh my God, the fact that like you guys really are family up here. Like you guys treat each other so much like family. Somebody needs something, you guys are like right there, which is kind of like how I am. Like somebody needs something, I'm like jumping, like let's go, what do you need? And so yeah, it's just you guys welcomed me in so quickly, like just kind of pulled me in and was like, you're one of ours now. And I'm like, been back and wanting to stay ever since. I'm like, maybe I should just start looking at property. Just move up here.
Yeah, soon to be a BC resident. You never know.
Never know. I was with one of my friends, Dina, who does merch here, and she was just giving me like a tour as we were driving through East Vancouver. And I was like, it looks a lot like where I grew up on the east side of Tacoma. And I was like, you know what? It'd be like I never left. I could just move to East Vancouver.
So you've talked about how you can help companies out.
Yes.
You've got an eclectic background of ways that you can help.
Yes.
Talk about ways that you have helped wrestling companies and maybe ways that other companies can utilize you.
Definitely having my first aid and CPR AED training. We had to kind of utilize that recently at the last NEW show where we had, a couple people go down and they needed medical attention right away. And that is what I do for my main job is I have a patient that I take care of, very extensively. I have certifications and other trainings that, I have to have, and definitely getting that recertification of my first aid and CPR training was big. So like making sure that you have a person who is medically trained on your staff, super important. Having a trauma kit, like not just a little first aid kit with like band-aids and stuff like that, like having a real full on, because you're going to be dealing with some serious injuries because a lot of stuff goes sideways in wrestling. And so just definitely having somebody who has that kind of training, somebody who loves working with the public, somebody who can easily talk to the public, because a lot of the times you're like trying to figure things out where they come up and they look like they have a puzzled look on their face and you're like, I know what you need. Here, look over here. This is what you want. And so just being able to read people, not like in a very like deceitful kind of way, but just kind of showing that you see them. Mm-hmm. So having somebody that can see people, knowing just how to run a business, let them have like a little bit of a business background, because that'll definitely help you if this is like your first time running a business. They may have failed before, but sometimes I've had the best advice from people who have failed at business. And that's what's kind of helped my business grow. So definitely just keeping people around you who are very knowledgeable and are like eager to pass that knowledge on to you. And then you can pass that knowledge on to people where you see they need it.
Where I kind of see a similarity is like a hotel concierge.
Oh my gosh, right?
It's like, you need advice? Okay, you go to Dyanna. She knows exactly where to send you.
Yeah,
or how to help you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you need something? Okay, where do you get it? Here, go ask her. She's usually got like, if you need a pen, she's got a pen. You need a nail file, she's got a nail file.
You talked about all the different ways that you've been able to help people. Is there a specific story that is interesting, intriguing, that you would love to share with people that maybe no one's ever heard before?
Let's see. Bringing wrestlers back and forth across the border, like having somebody who's able to do that, is definitely a big help. And so I have brought wrestlers up for the infamous Circle 6 Vancouver show, having a car full of 5 people and not being stopped at the border for asking a million questions. And so definitely having somebody who knows what the questions are going to be, how to be like calm under pressure, because sometimes you get the wrong border agent and they're going to be like looking at you kind of funny, and you're like, no, I promise this is what I'm doing. And so I think most of them know me by now. I come over so much that they're just like, Oh, you're fine. But yeah, so I brought up, who did I bring up? I brought up Tara's Up, Sue Young, Lindsay Snow, and Facade, all at the same time in my car so we could all be at the show because I had done the loop with them. We did Portland, we did Seattle, and then we were doing Vancouver. And so just coming up, we got over, thankfully we got over, the Circle 6 guys had a little bit of an issue on, they went to the Pacific Highway. Well, we went through Peace Arch. I was like, I go through Peace Arch. We're fine. So they had a little bit of a hold up. And so we get through, we get to the venue. Everything's great. Everybody's just chilling. We get through all of the show. And then we get to the main event. And I had been like helping out with making sure like if people needed water, they had water. Made sure, people were like signing waivers and stuff and just making sure, everything was cool. I see green smoke bombs and I'm like, and I see that it's Shotzi, Rob Shit, and Matt Justice, but it's Shotzi and Rob who have the smoke bombs. And I thought I was safe up in the balcony because that's where I was. I was blowing my nose all week, still green. That was not fun at all. And so we get through there. No alarms are going off. We're like, okay, maybe we're okay. And then here comes the other team of Dave Reckoning, Dread, and Alex Cologne. And they had started doing this thing during that loop where they were playing Creed's One Last Breath. And that was the song they were entering to. And so they made the crowd wait until it really like hits the part where they're like, okay, now we can enter. So that happened, and they finally get into the ring, and that's when the alarms start going off. I'm like, oh my God. And they're like yelling, yeah, take it to the street. And we're like, okay, I'm yelling for like everybody to get out of the building. And we're like walking around and making sure that people are actually like getting out of the building. And I had been recording the whole time. So I found video of me walking behind Tara and Miles DeVille as we're all recording, going out of the building and just into the street. And there's just this massive humanity and just like wrestling in front of us. You thought it was a movie. No, we were actually, this is what's happening on the street right now. And so the match goes and I get a tap on my shoulder and it's a couple of the Circle 6 guys. And they're like, when the 3 hits, grab everybody, go. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? I was like, are we gonna get in trouble? And so the 3 hits, they're kind of celebrating. And I look around to see who's around me. I grab Tara and Facade. I'm like, okay, let's go this way. I kind of heard them the other way. Lost Miles. I had no idea where he is. I'm like, well, he probably lives around here. He's fine or whatever. And so I'm like looking for other wrestlers to take around the back of the building. I ended up with 5 of the 6 main event people in my car because I'd parked behind the Pearl and thinking I was gonna have to run them to the border like we were running from the cops or something. And I was like, nobody mess with my car, get away from the car. And I had to roll the windows down because they're fogging up the windows. And I had this snack bag, I threw it in there. I was like, here, because it's after a match, they're hungry, their adrenaline has been up, now they're getting ready to dump, they need sugar. So I threw the snack bag in there and I was like, leave the car alone. And so, yeah, I was ready to commit felony for Circle 6. That's how down I am for wrestling.
What a story. The amount of stories from that night is just incredible. But that one is unheard of.
Right. I still had Shotzi's handprint on my window because I went right back to work. I got home after that loop, went right back to work, and it sat there for a couple of weeks. And I was like, I need to clean my car. Wrestlers had been on my leather seats. They were sweaty. I need to clean my car. Oh my God, Wes Smith he uploaded photos, and there's a photo of me flipping off Alan Angels. Yeah, and then there's the photo of me trying to give Matt Brannigan, same night. It was the last night of Prestige, and so I'm trying to give Matt Brannigan his solo cup.
Oh, okay.
And Minoru Suzuki's in the background.
Oh,
I'm
that's cool.
My wrestling, top of the wrestling, and I'm that far away from Minoru Suzuki right now.
It's pretty cool. The entrance that he had at NEW a couple of years ago, that was so cool.
I actually watched, that was one of the first NEW shows that I actually went back and watched.
Yeah.
Was him versus Judas.
Yeah, it was so good.
So good.
Yeah, we were there for a friend's bachelor party.
Oh, okay,
so
that's
fun.
amazing.
Yeah.
Funny story, because WrestleMania, when it was in Vegas the first time, so WrestleMania 2025, so that week, Mania week, my first Mania week ever.
Yeah.
And it was like last day, it was Saturday. Minoru Suzuki was the only autograph signing I wanted to go to.
Yeah.
And I get there, I'm early, and they're not set up yet. And so I'm like waiting, and I get my photo, my autograph, and then I'm asked, do you want to go run for Minoru Suzuki? Yes,
Yeah.
like let me go get him something to eat and something to drink. Let's go.
Yeah.
So I got to be a runner for Suzuki before I went to Big A brunch.
Oh, that's so cool.
It was so cool. He's so nice.
He seems so humble.
Yeah, and so I was just like, all he wanted was a black coffee and an egg sandwich.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Last question for you. Thank you so much for your time. You're a veteran indie wrestling fan, and at this point, to someone who's never been to a wrestling show, what can you say to convince them to go to a wrestling show?
What can I say to convince them to come? If you like fun, you need to come to a show. If you like drama, you need to come to a show. I don't watch reality TV. Wrestling is my reality TV. You can figure out all the stories and stuff like that and leave it behind when you're done. It takes you out of your whatever you're dealing with for however many hours that we're here. And sometimes we're here for a long time. Sometimes we're here for a couple of hours. But it's fun. You have other like-minded people who enjoy what they're watching with you. And you have performers who love what they do. And when you can feel that and you see that, you just sucked in. You're like, okay, how do I keep seeing this? And sometimes it's, how do I get involved in this? Like, that's basically what happened. I was like, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of what they're building. And so I'm just like, come to the show. It might change your life.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for your time, Dyanna. Where can people find you on social media?
Oh my goodness. So my name is not spelled the traditional way. So it is Dyanna, DYANNA _Corona. Yes, that kind of Corona. CORONA. And that's my handle on, I believe, Instagram and Twitter. Or X, whatever.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.